Boys, I ran an experiment that I think would be very, very helpful for your productivity. I increased my time in bed to 11 hours on average per night. Now, this is what I did. I didn't change my nighttime, my bedtime. That stayed at 9 p.m. every single night. But what I did, instead of setting my alarm for 6 a.m., sometimes I'd even have it at 5 a.m., I then woke up without an alarm. I turned every alarm, every intention to wake up early, I took it all off. And what I did was I'd go to sleep thinking, okay, however long my body wants to sleep, needs to sleep, I will allow it. I started waking up at about 8. That's how long it took me to feel satisfied with my sleep. And it wasn't just, I would expect, maybe for the first few days I could have been sleep deprived, but it was continuous. It was literally so consistent that go to sleep at 9, wake up at about 8:30. So that gives about 11 and a half hours in bed. And I'll show you a couple of screenshots right now. I believe my average time that you'll see was about 9.5 to 10 hours of sleep, which is insane. Why did I do this experiment? Because I wanted to prioritize sleep. It's literally vital. Now, one of the quotes I absolutely love is that mindfulness is a meta skill that improves everything else. That's from Tim Ferriss, the author of the 4-Hour Workweek. Now, I actually started realizing, you know what? Sleep too. Sleep is a meta skill that improves everything else. Everything else in your life would be improved by better sleep. Your social skills, your relationships, your gym progress, your mindfulness, your work, every single thing in your life would be improved by sleep. And so an hour invested into your sleep would probably have the biggest effect on your life. And at this point, I believed I should be sleeping longer. So I was in bed for about 9 hours before this, 9.5. And I even felt like it should be longer. I remember a few years ago, I used to work out quite a lot, quite similar to how much I'm working out now. And I always used to say to everyone that I needed 10 hours of sleep. And everyone was so crazy because we were students and most people were used to sleeping like 6 hours per night. And I'd tell them, no, I need 10 hours of sleep. And so I'd literally, if I didn't get that, if I went to a party the night before, I'd go to the lecture, I'd literally fall asleep in the middle of the lecture, like full on. And I'm at the time I was a mouth breather and I'd full on like, I'm pretty sure I've got a picture of me as well. I'll try and find for you. So how was it? How was the results? So you've seen the screenshots. I was sleeping for about 10 hours a night. The first big improvement I realized was I was waking up and I was instantly happier. And by the way, maybe I didn't make it clear, but I wasn't sleep deprived before that. Like technically I would have been if I could have slept longer, but I wasn't sleep deprived by society standards. Like I was sleeping like 8 hours, at least 8.5 hours before this. Now the actual sleep time increased to about 10 hours. So I wasn't really sleep deprived. Technically I would have been because I was able to sleep longer, my body wanted me to sleep longer, but I was getting like 8 hours of sleep. And so that honestly is very, very interesting that any of you boys who work out, especially, your body needs more than 8 hours. 8 hours is like the government recommended guidelines. It's for the guys who have to wake up and take care of the kids and go to the 9-to-5 job and shit. If you've got the privilege of being able to sleep longer, sleep longer. Another thing was that I didn't feel like taking a midday nap at all. Like I don't even think I had a single midday nap throughout the day, which I never minded. Before this experiment, I'd usually have like a nap. But honestly, what would happen is I'd set the alarm for 10 minutes. Now, I could get up in the 10 minutes, but sometimes I'd actually get into a deep state of sleep. And so I would wake up literally from sleep, because I set the alarm for an hour instead. And that feeling of after you've woken up after a nap and it literally feels like you're on a different planet and it takes you like half an hour to, like, I remember going on a call with the video editor Sam and I was like, bro, like I literally feel like I'm on a different planet. So the benefits was nice, and honestly now when I'm looking back at it, I don't think I valued the happiness boost as much as I should have. This experiment was like a week ago, and so when I was writing up this script, I don't think I actually valued how good the happiness boost was. And so the negatives of this experiment of sleeping longer was that I missed my high performance mornings. So I do the best work in the mornings. I wake up straight away, and either I'll wake up straight away, go to the gym, which I absolutely love. It's like my favorite thing in my life is to wake up and go and hit the weights first thing in the morning, fasted. Or I would wake up and do some kind of like deep work for the first 90 minutes of the day. Now, when I was sleeping longer, I pretty much missed this, because now I was waking up at 8:30 instead of the 6. That 6 block, that early morning rise, I started missing that. I'm not gonna lie, my ego got a little bit hurt by the fact that I wasn't able to say that I was part of the good morning club or whatever, where, you know, you're waking up early, you don't get to stunt on social media, and obviously I don't even fucking stunt on social media, but it's that ego, that self-perception of yourself where everyone on YouTube's telling you, hey guys, my 5 a.m. morning routine, hey, some dickhead's doing fucking, hey, my 3:35 a.m. Oh, shut up, bro, 3:30. Dumbass. The culture of YouTube, of self-improvement, is very, very much on this early rising will get you successful. And honestly, it's kind of true, because most people by far would work best first thing in the morning. The issue is that you're inevitably going to be sleep deprived. I actually think that I'm like a better sleeper than most people. You can see how much intention I put into it, and, you know, I track my sleep every single night for like 2 years straight. I know everything about it. Even then, I'm now convinced that none of those people that you're seeing on YouTube are sleeping long enough. That if you're waking up at 5 a.m, you are not sleeping long enough, because how many hours do you need to sleep? They'll say 8. So then, okay, you say, okay, you want to wake up at 5 a.m, so what time do you go to sleep? They'll say 9. That's 8 hours. Well, wrong. You can see the data. It's common sense. You are not falling asleep the moment you close your eyes. It's actually quite bad how the percentage of your bedtime compared to your sleep time is. It's a lot worse than most people would think. And so if you're waking up at 5, if you want to have 8 hours of sleep, you need to be going to sleep at about 7:30 to 8. No one's fucking doing that. So every single person is sleep deprived. Another negative was that although I got pretty decent success in my business, I sold coaching packages, I made like the most money I've made in the month, I actually felt like I didn't really accomplish much during the days, because I lost a solid 2 hours of the time that I'd usually be the most productive, and obviously everything's just moved back, but I've got obligations and shit that I have to do at a certain time. So I literally lost like a solid 2 hours of my most productive time. And so I started going to bed those nights actually feeling like I didn't accomplish much, which is somewhat of a strange feeling for me recently. You know, over the last 9 months I've been on this grind, which honestly is not like, that's one of the reasons why I actually stopped this experiment. So during this time, I don't feel like I got so much better. I'm still a bit like, I don't know which way to go from here. Another disadvantage was that it was often it's quite significantly harder to actually go to sleep at 9, because instead of going to sleep at 9 and fixed waking up at 6, I'd be now going to sleep at 9, waking up at 8, and so obviously everything's pushed. So oftentimes I'd get to bed at 9, close my eyes, and I'd toss and turn for like 45 minutes, which hasn't really happened that much like over the last months or so as I've been, you know, with my schedule. So that was kind of annoying, but I just deal with it. But yeah, so the conclusion that I wrote down here was that it's a good experiment to prioritize sleep more, but I was already sleeping 8 hours before this, and having the benefit of that high performance morning, or the morning where I wake up and hit the weight straight away, I feel like that might have outweighed the benefit of the extra hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep that I was getting. I wrote this script about a week ago, and so I wrote in the conclusion that I've went back to waking up early around 6:30. I've even been making it far earlier, so now I'm waking up at about 5:45. And so I'm waking up, I've been smashing some quality work. Honestly, I've been like the most productive for a while, where I've been waking up, smashing like 3-4 hours of deep work, undistracted work, no distractions whatsoever. I've been making some good progress in the projects that I'm doing, but I have felt that happiness decrease. And you know what? I'm a bit uncertain, you can tell, so you can see I'm not like certain or anything just yet. So maybe you boys can give me your input on this and let me, you know, help me decide which way to go from here. There's two mindsets. One, wake up earlier, have the time, have the high performance morning so that you get more done, you get more accomplishments, you know, you feel prouder and self-esteem goes up. That's good. And I am benefiting from that. I can see, you know, for example, I'm writing a story. I'm writing like a novel, and I wrote like 4.5 pages in the first 90 minutes of the day, whereas for the last 2 weeks I didn't even do it. For the last 2 weeks, like I literally didn't write anything. I put it off a little bit, but I made it my priority, woke up and smashed it, and it was like I was able to completely focus onto it, no distractions, which was so nice because I woke up early. I woke up before everyone in my family was awake. That's nice. But then it was literally last night, something changed inside of me. Today is the first morning where I started writing this novel. And the reason why I feel like I've had a mindset change literally from last night, I started going to sleep, I missed my bedtime, and I literally I felt pretty unhappy. This video is going to get kind of deep unexpectedly, so hopefully you boys have watched this far so you can kind of help me now. I felt pretty unhappy. The last week or so, I've been on the high performance shit, the deep work, and I've been taking courses from Alex Becker. I've been learning email marketing. I've been, doing the business side of the business that I've got here, fully focused on the money side. And I pretty much concluded last night that that's so fucking depressing. When your main focus is money, it's like you literally never can make enough. When I didn't really think about money at all, I was making more than I ever needed, more than enough. And so I had that feeling of abundance, and, you know, I felt so good about that. I felt happy. But recently, when I've been setting like sales goals, and I've been setting like, you know, I've been watching videos from guys who are talking about it so nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, like I'm doing 50k a month and 200k a month, and okay, here's my client, he got 300k a month, and, you know, all this shit. Obviously, I'm suffering from social comparisons. So recently, YouTube and taking this course online from Alex Becker has become kind of like the social comparisons that you might get from Instagram. So for example, a normal guy could go onto Instagram, see my pictures of me with my abs and my muscles, and then he would feel worse about his body, even though his body, he might have been training for a year and he should be so happy about his accomplishment. When you see someone who's so much better than you, who's doing so much more than you almost automatically lower your self-esteem, because your mind knows where you are on the social hierarchy. And so waking up early, prioritizing at least that type of work, the email marketing, the sales side of the business, that made me far, far more unhappy. And so I went to bed last night actually feeling like shit, honestly, feeling like I wasn't acting out of abundance, I was acting out of scarcity. I was like entirely focused on money, and every single day I go without getting a notification that I've had a sale on Shopify, it literally lowers my self-worth. Like I've almost been sucked back into that normal person's lifestyle where their self-worth is based on the external stimulus instead of their own achievements, because that's what I've been focusing on, the external stimulus, the customers buying the packages and people buying, you know, giving me the views and shit. That's what I've been focusing on, because I've been, you know, thinking about scaling the business, and here's guys who are really, really good at business. And so I went to sleep and I woke up like 20 minutes later, and I was like, wait, what the fuck have I been doing? I have a piece of paper stuck to my wall where I can see it when I go to sleep. Here's what it looks like. And it literally says that my purpose is to reach my potential, to document the process to help you boys, and that I should entirely focus on the value and not the money. Because if I just focus on the value, if I just focus on helping you guys as much as possible, the money will come. That's a 100% fact. The money will come. And recently I've been focused entirely on the money, and that is such a depressing pursuit. Honestly, it is such a depressing pursuit. No one who focuses on the money is happy, because it's like unlimited. Money is unlimited. You can never make enough. And so this experiment countered the pursuit of business growth, the pursuit of money. And notice that the first benefit I said was that I was happier. And what is money for? What is business success for, if not for happiness, if not for the feeling of abundance? And I was literally getting that by doing less work. So I concluded in this test, you know, I wrote it about a week ago before I went into the deep work period again, the deep mornings again. Just as I was stopping the experiment, I concluded that it's good for most people. Most people would gain more from this, but because I was already sleeping 8 hours, I'd prefer waking up early and, you know, smashing the high performance. I've now done that early rising again, the 5:45 for the last week, and I feel pretty bad. This morning I woke up early, but it was different because last night I made the intention that no more. I'm not looking at, like, I'm not extending myself purposely for the pursuit of money. I set some sales goals, some online income goals. I always do this. But these goals you can see on the screen, especially for the next few months, they are actually very, very realistic. And so I was actually really happy about these goals. I'm really like excited for them. These are not the ones that depressed me. I stuck these on. It was then getting into the mindset of like the email marketers I'm seeing who are talking about 20k, 50k, 100k a month. It is happening. And I know some people might be thinking, like, oh, you know, no one's like that. Genuinely, it's not that difficult to be making 10, 20, 30, 40k per month. It's not, like, it will take time, it is difficult and stuff, but it's not as impossible as most people would think it would be, because now I've dived deep into that niche, that community. I can see the math of it, and the math, honestly, it works out. The math isn't that hard to achieve. It's hard in the sense of, you know, this is what it's fucking doing to me, but it's not hard as most people would believe it, because most people would think 10k a month, he's ridiculous. But you can see my sales goals are pretty realistic for the next few months. It's literally just like a couple hundred more than I've previously done, and so I've doubled the previous goals so far. And so if I stay at the same rate, if I still keep achieving the goals that I set for myself, and these ones make me feel good because they're not out of reach, they're not purposely focusing on the money so much, it's just like I've wrote it there and it's just nice to see how much I get. So the mindset I had then was, I woke up today and I thought, you know what, okay, no more purposely thinking about money, trying to make like a fitness course to sell for a few $100 because that's going to make the most money. I thought, you know what, forget about making the most money, start thinking about giving the most value. Now, I hope to do that with the videos, but the videos are kind of capped with my work rate because I can only upload so many per day. And I was at one point I was going to just upload one video every single day, but I can literally get, like, I've recorded 4 videos in a row now, and my editor Sam, hey, say hi Sam. My editor Sam, he edits the videos for me, like passively compared to my time. So I can bust these out and it's like, it doesn't really feel like a project to work on. And so I went to sleep and I was like, you know what is some kind of project that I could do? You know, I want something to work on that gives me fulfillment, that would give the boys value. And so I started writing a story, because there was a book I read a little while ago. It was called Influencer. It's by a bunch of people. One of the people's Kerry Patterson or so. I'll have a picture of it on screen. And it says that there's 6 sources of influence. There's 6 things that influence your behavior. And so, of course, one of them is personal motivation, your motivation to do the thing. And inside motivation, it's broken down into a few things. So how do you increase someone's motivation? Now, that's interesting as fuck. You guys we're going completely off topic. Welcome to the unfiltered section, boys. We may as well have that section right now. Hope you both stayed for it. If you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, in my older videos, I'd ramble on, and usually by about 10 minutes, everyone's clicked off apart from the guys who really, really like me and, you know, you like what I talk about. And so then I'd be like, oh, okay, now I can talk completely freely. I can just say whatever the fuck I want because I know for a fact everyone has clicked off apart from the guys who like me. So welcome to the unfiltered section, boys. So this book mentions personal motivation as one of the influences of behavior. It's common sense. Motivation influences your behavior. Now, motivation is broken down into a few different parts. There is a meaningful story. That's what you can tell someone. This is why you feel motivated when you watch a body transformation video. That's actually such a good point. Go onto Google, you watch a body transformation video of someone else, and if it's a good story, it motivates you. Oh, I was a teenager, I played games, I was skinny and no one liked me, girls didn't like me, I didn't have confidence, and then I started lifting weights and now look at me, guys, I've got confidence. That motivates you to go because it's a meaningful story, because you can emphasize with it. So that's what I took for the novel that I'm writing. Just in case you guys want to know, that personal motivation is also broken down into a few different things where it's like challenging but achievable goals, and to gamify it, make it into a game. And so that's what I try and do for you boys. You know, for example, gamifying it. Often I use game analogies and I say, okay, this is your discipline skill and you've got to get experience in your discipline skill. That's why my influence over you guys is actually so strong, because I read books like this. But I'm going on a tangent. Telling a meaningful story is a way to motivate people. And so I had this idea that instead of writing like an ebook, instead of writing, you know, how to do self-improvement, how to improve your sleep, how to, you know, just basic how-to books of self-help books. Self-help books are nice, you know, self-improvement books are what I love to read. I love that stuff. But I thought, you know what, I can go one step further. I can go one step further. What I'm going to do for you boys is I am writing a story which is, you know, it's like a fictional story based off like a character who's going through his self-improvement journey, and I'm trying my absolute best to make it as relatable as possible. Like, I'm literally reading over my old journals that literally make me cry and shit. I'm like rewatching the old coaching videos that I've got, all the messages that I'm seeing. I'm getting that idea in my mind of, okay, where exactly the average guy of you are. The average guy who's just about getting into self-improvement. Where is he? What's his pain points? What's he experiencing? What exact words are he saying? That's the basis of the story. So it's going to be this character. He's going through it. I've already wrote like 5 pages and it is sick so far. I'm not going to lie, man. It's if you read this right now, you would relate to it. I don't really know who's completely watching this part of the video, but I know that you, by watching this far of the video, by you being subscribed to my channel, you would relate to it. And that means that it's going to be a meaningful story, because not only is it going to be entertaining, it's going to be a fun read. Instead of me trying to sell you a fucking $200 course or something, it's going to be like a £5 book. You're going to enjoy reading it. It's going to be a nice story to read before bed or something. But it's also going to be, it's going to be a self-improvement book, because here is a story that's fun to read, but this character is going to go through the self-improvement journey, and you're going to, like, I'm literally including the voice in his head as almost like another character of words on the screen. And so you're going to hear exactly what he says, what he does wrong, what he starts doing right. And I know for a fact that the way I'm going to write it is it's gonna be that meaningful story that motivates you to also do the same thing. Oh, this character did this. This was his mindset towards it. No, he's wrong. And then you're going to know, like, do you know what I mean? You're going to be able to relate to this guy, and then you're going to see his progress, and then you're going to be inspired and motivated by his progress, so you're going to follow it. And I think this might truly be the smartest thing I have come up with. Genuinely, this might be this. It could be a complete fail. I could write the book and literally everyone would say, "Oh, you're trash, Hamza. Go back to your YouTube videos." But it could be like the smartest thing I'm doing, because I think that stories have such big impacts on people. When you have a character that you relate to and you almost believe it's like you, even if the character's name is something different, his life is something different, it's like you start wanting him to do good, because him doing good kind of makes you do good. And so eventually the character is, of course, gonna, some things in his self-improvement's gonna start working, and you're gonna feel so happy for him. And what he does, it's almost like a hidden self-improvement book inside of a story, where it's a story, you're enjoying the story, but it's like I'm actually subtly telling you the self-improvement stuff that you should be doing. And so this character is going to do it, and you're going to just see, like, oh, he's done this thing, I'm going to go do it too, because he's just, the words on the screen are his brain's words, his mind's word. Okay, his mind said this. Oh yeah, my mind says that too when I start exercising. And so this is what he said to himself, and he was able to exercise, so I'm going to go and do that. So I don't know if this makes sense, but I feel like this is like a 200 IQ idea right now. It's a self-improvement book. It's like a self-help book, but it's almost like hidden inside of a story. So if I can get you boys invested to the story, automatically you're going to also get the self-improvement knowledge at the same time. You can tell by my face, boys, I'm so damn excited for that. So that's what I did. I woke up early. I stopped this experiment. So I was waking up early, stopped waking up early for this 1 month experiment. Then I've been waking up early for the last week. For most of the week, it was good to wake up early and to get into deep work and focus work and, to feel high performance and shit. But it made me feel unhappy. I think mostly I felt unhappy because of the social comparisons, the email marketing and all that shit. So that's the thing. But I'm not sure where I'm going to go from, at least for the sleep now, because either way, I think I'm going to feel like a happiness boost, a self-esteem boost, because I'm not going to care about the emails. The fucking bore. It's like, I can see that it's got so much value to learn that skill, the sales and the emails and stuff, but it is so unfulfilling to be thinking like that. So I know for a fact I'm going to get like a nice well-being boost instantly when I'm going to go unsubscribe from Alex Becker and all those people. But I'm still now thinking, okay, where should I go with the sleep? Maybe you boys can give me some ideas, because I can wake up early, be busting out the story, be focused on it, or I can wake up when my body and my mind want me to wake up, so that I'm prioritizing sleep and I'm prioritizing health, and then just, try and do the work when I've got the time for it. I'd lose 2 hours of the day, but I'd be happier, I'd be healthier. So honestly, now that I say it, I think fuck the alarm clock. I think go back, live like this experiment every day. Still go to sleep at 9 p.m. Don't set the alarm on. Wake up whatever time my body wants me to wake up, and just try and do the work where I can. I'm sure that if I did that, put my mind to it, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and let's try and get like 2-3 blocks of deep work wherever I can fit them. Maybe I'll reschedule everything that I've got, so that when I wake up at about 8:30, which I think I'll wake up from this experiment, I'll wake up naturally at 8:30, I'll do the work then, and I'll move the gym a little bit later. Hope you boys found some kind of value. Hope you're hyped for the story. Literally no one really knows that I'm writing the story right now. And so anyone who's watched this far, you're part of the secret club, and you'll be getting some bonuses for that. I'm going to find a way to speak to people I'm going to find a way to get like your input on the story. To maybe I'll use the email marketing stuff I've learned. I'll make like a little email opt-in, and you can be part of an email group that I'll email out to ask for help. I'll send you guys a bit of the story. You can read it. You can like tell me, oh yeah, this looks good. Oh no, that paragraph's trash, Hamza. That paragraph's trash. Delete it. But yeah, maybe I'll do that. And you know what? In fact, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I will or if I'll be able to. But if there is a top link of the description right now. No, I'm not going to put it in the top link because then the normies, the peasants who didn't watch this far would also see it. What I'm going to do, boys, I'm going to actually hide the link like way below in the description. All I'm just going to write is like story and a link next to it. If there is in the description, if there is just a line that says story and a link, you can click on the link and you'll be part of like a secret little group where I'll be messaging you what I've been writing for the story, and hopefully you can give your input on it. And that'll be pretty cool because you're literally going to be able to shape how this story goes. And obviously anyone who really helps me, then you'll get the book for free as well. Boys, I appreciate you watching. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.